Hey, how you guys doing? I want to welcome you back to another episode of HeroTalk, the mostly weekly podcast from Rooter Hero Plumbing and Air. I'm David, one of the hosts here, and with me is
Cat.
And together we're on the attack. Doors are slamming, things are going. It's another beautiful day.
That's so loud.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Doors slam? I don't know.
That's crazy.
Maybe they're renovating stuff.
It sounds like it.
Yep. Or someone's trying to get in downstairs and it's locked. Either or. Someone will take care of that.
Not us, though.
No.
Not right now.
We're busy. Speaking of busy, what have you been up to in this last week?
In this last week, what did I do? I didn't really do much this weekend. I went to a hot yoga class.
A hot yoga class?
Yeah.
How was that?
That was pretty intense because it's hot in there, so it's really hard to breathe.
Yeah.
But it was really fun. I really liked it.
What's the benefit of hot yoga over hot and or regular yoga?
I think it's how much you sweat.
Oh.
Because I feel like regular yoga, you might not really lose weight because it's just
Stretching,
yeah. But then hot yoga, I was literally my nose was, I sweat from my nose. My nose was dripping sweat. And then they give you a towel so that they know you're gonna be sweaty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least they provide a towel.
Yeah. And I was very proud of myself because I usually go with my friend, but she was working, so I went by myself.
There you go.
And it was fun.
Yeah. That's cool. I would imagine if it's on a mat or something, the mat might get a little slippery.
It sure did.
Might make downward dog a little dangerous.
Yeah. And then it was also candle lit, so it was very dark in there. But it was cool.
Okay. Sounds weird. I can't picture it.
I'll show you a video after.
Okay. All right, cool.
How was your weekend? What did you do?
Weekend was 2 days ago. Oh, my wife and I on Sunday, went up to Ventura Beach and had some fish and chips and these massive drinks. It was beer. And they were huge, and they came out in goblets, giant goblets.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So you weren't lying when you said you got some sun.
And then last night we went back at sunset just to hang out on the beach and watch the sunset.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Aww.
Yep. So, I'm not a beach guy. I'll be the first to admit that. But it's okay.
You look so mad.
I want to be a beach guy.
Yeah.
But full daylight, I look at the water and then I'm a lobster.
Yeah, we both turn red.
Yeah.
But as you can see, we're not blending in today, so that's good.
Yeah.
For those who can see.
Yeah. If you're watching on YouTube, which you might be,
You should be.
do it both. Listen in the car. Watch it when you get to where you're going. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Double the views. Do it.
Wink, wink. Well, that's good. That sounds like a fun, relaxing weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, it was okay.
Was the food good?
I mean, for overpriced fish and chips, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm a fan of fish and chips.
Oh, okay.
So, always have been. Always have been.
Always will be?
Unless I suddenly become allergic to fish, then yes. But it's a once in a while type meal. Because the equivalent for, I don't know, normal food, I guess, would be chicken tendies and fries.
That's what I get.
So, yeah.
Chicken tenders.
That's good, but you probably shouldn't eat it every day. Unless you do, cat. And then that's fine.
And that's fine.
Yeah. Chicken tendies. Chicken tendies are up to like $10 a bag now.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And the fries are up to $5 a bag. And gas, $6.50 a gallon.
Oh my gosh. This world is insane. I just put gas on the way over here.
Mm.
I put $40 and it gave me less than half a tank.
Yep. That's how it is. That's how it is now. Maybe someday it'll go back down to $5 a gallon.
If we're lucky.
If we're lucky. And never, ever think that you won't be lucky. For something, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, David, what are we talking about today?
Today, I'm going to ask you to figure it out.
Oh.
Because that's what we're talking about today.
We're talking about figuring it out.
Yep. The old FIO.
FIO.
FIO. The art and the power of figuring things out by yourself. Now,
that's the main thing.
Yes.
By yourself.
Yeah. And these days, it's never been easier.
Honestly.
You have the wealth of human knowledge either on your desk or in your hand. Anything that you want to figure out or to learn, it's right there. All you got to do is take the time. And if you think you don't have the time, maybe you should be looking up some time management. I don't know.
To figure it out.
Yeah. See? Figure out the time management, and then you'll be able to figure out the rest. Easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy. Is that still a thing?
I say it all the time.
Okay.
It's usually sarcastic.
Oh.
Like when someone asks me how I am, and I'm like, I'm peachy keen.
Oh, so you're being sarcastic when you tell me that.
I mean, what does that mean?
I wish I knew, David.
Yep.
I wish I knew.
I don't even know where that came from. It's okay.
It's fine.
I could figure it out, but no.
Not today.
No. Maybe later. If I remember. So,
what's the power of figuring it out?
well, here are some benefits to figuring it out yourself, right? And then we'll go into some drawbacks too, because with everything, there are positives and negatives, upsides and downsides, this, that, and the other.
And we're here to help them figure it out.
Exactly. So, turn up the volume, pump up the jams,
Get your coffee.
get your coffee. Let's figure it out together.
Yes.
All right. So, the first one is, independence and empowerment. So,
What
when...
does that mean?
Well, I don't know. But, let's figure it out.
Okay.
So, when you embrace the entire FIO, the figure it out thing, you're no longer reliant on other people to solve your problems or make your decisions for you. Right? That means you're independent. And when you're independent, you get a sense of empowerment, which can boost your self-confidence and, in turn, your self-esteem. What's the best way of building self-confidence? Doing it.
Yeah. Like me this weekend.
Yeah.
I went to yoga by myself.
Yeah. See? And then, And then an example for like a personal example on this is, before you get your license when you're like a kid, right? And then you have to rely on others to drive you places.
around.
Or, you're taking Ubers and Lyfts and the bus, right? So, best way of getting around that, learning how to drive, right? Learning how to drive, figuring it out. It's not hard. It's scary at first, And even when I first moved here, I was like, I don't want to go on the freeway. I am used to 2-lane highways, and this one has 6.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Some of them have more now.
That's true. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. So, the next benefit of being able to figure it out is, that little thing that we like to call continuous improvement, continuous learning. So, when you decide to figure something out, you're naturally put on the path to learning.
Yeah.
Because you're learning how to do something. You're learning how something works. So, you'll develop those awesome problem-solving skills, which are necessary in life. Otherwise, if you don't know how to problem solve, and you don't know how to solve your own problems, you're going to be led around like a dog on a leash.
It would be really bad if you
Yeah.
could not problem solve.
Right. Right. And yeah, I know. Some people are like, no one knows how to problem solve. No one has common sense anymore. I'm neither going to agree or disagree with that. So, but not only will you get those problem solving skills, you'll learn how to be resourceful. You'll learn how to adapt to things. And you'll just get better the more you do it.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say at work you get a new software, right? Instead of waiting for someone to train you on all the ins and outs of it,
Or give direction.
figure it out yourself.
Oh.
Like, we have Service Titan here.
We love Service Titan.
We do. We're powered by Service Titan.
Shout out to Service Titan.
Yeah. Sponsor us. But when we first got it, back in like 2013-ish, there's events happening outside.
Yeah, it's a busy Tuesday.
So, Thursday, Tuesday. Maybe that's Thursday. I don't know. It is Thursday when you're listening to this.
So, whatever you prefer.
So, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. We got Service Time back in 2013. They were like, all right, we're switching over to this. It's going to take about 2 weeks for it to go live. Just watch the videos, play around with it. And then they came back 20 minutes later.
Oh.
And they were like, hey, guess what? We're using it now.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Everyone just had to figure it out.
yeah. And we did. And now, I don't know, it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you guys are able to teach it to new people that come in.
Yeah.
Or
That's
just
true.
let them figure it out.
They should. It's not hard.
Yeah.
It's easy. I don't know. But yeah, the next benefit,
Figuring it out.
yes, is ownership and accountability. 2 things that are huge. Not only in your professional life, but in your personal life as well.
True.
Because if you're not taking accountability, if you're not taking ownership of your own stuff, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
It's like one of my favorite books ever of the leadership business variety, because there's a difference, is Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. In it, if you want to boil it down to its core components, it's taking accountability for everything. Because whatever happens, you probably had a hand in it.
Yeah.
So, good and bad. So you have to take ownership of it. If someone on your team fails, you failed. What could you have done differently?
To make
Right.
them succeed.
Yep. If someone outside of your team fails and in the same company, same thing. What could you have done to help them out?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I am a huge proponent of that. And I know a lot of people aren't. Because they're always like, their fault.
A lot of people like to point the finger to other people.
Yeah, but when you do that, you like point your finger. 3 are pointed back at you. And like 1's pointed up at God or something. I don't know. So
That's true. 3 are pointed back at you.
yeah. So
So whose fault really is it?
Just if you're into democracy, you got 3 against 1. And God.
And God.
So, there you go. Maybe you're not supposed to use the thumb in that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
But
4.
you would go like this.
It's like a gun. So yeah, you have to take ownership and responsibility for everything, and being able to figure things out allows you to do that better.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this can work at work, in your career, and it can also work in your personal life, like with your relationships, right? And even like going into like a romantic relationship, like a significant other or a spouse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say partner, because to me, that word denotes a business partnership,
Oh.
which I guess some marriages are.
Oh.
But,
Oh.
but let's say you're struggling in your relationship. So, rather than seeking advice from friends or family who probably don't even know what's going on, right? Or they're going to give you some canned response like, oh, you'll get through this. That kind of thing. Or asking your single friends, which is always a bad idea. I mean, dude, you're 40 and single. What's up? No offense.
No offense, guys.
But take stock of what's happening in your relationship, and then figure out what went wrong and fix it. And do not blame the person you're with. Because it takes 2 to tango.
Mm-hmm.
These days it might be 3 or 4. I don't know.
Oh.
So, I don't know how things work anymore.
And it's not just like what is it? Romantic relationships. Mm-hmm. It could also be like friendships as well. Like you have to see what happened from your side, and then talk about that, get that dealt with, and then be able to.
Yeah. You have to learn how to subjugate the ego and realize that they might be feeling a particular way because you caused them to feel a particular way. And sometimes figuring it out means maybe I shouldn't be friends with this person, or maybe I shouldn't be with this person. Let the figuring out go where it may.
Yeah, you just have to talk about it, figure it out.
Yeah. So, and we're going to go through some drawbacks, but I'm going to go after that. I'm going to go over the issue I have with some of the drawbacks.
Yeah, I said the first one.
Yep. So, the drawbacks are like a potential for mistakes. Oh, no crap. All right.
But my thing is, you learn from your mistakes.
Exactly.
Well, you should learn from your mistakes.
A lot of people don't. They'll do the same thing over and over again. They'll get the same results and be like, well, I tried.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Learn from your mistakes, guys.
So, because figuring it out always involves trial and error. Mm-hmm. That's part of figuring it out, right? You're going to make mistakes. You're going to come up short.
Yeah. And that's just like in life in general, like working in your personal life. Like there's always going to be mistakes, but the thing is that you have to learn from them.
Yep, exactly. So, example for like career wise would be like, let's say you're starting a new business, right? And you're like, I'm going to figure this out myself by reading a book. But you don't go to people that you know that have successful businesses. You don't study what they did, right? You're just reading a book that may have come out like 5 years ago, right? It's like when you're trying to figure out marketing and you read something from 2 years ago and nothing's valid anymore, right? Ridiculous. So, yeah. So, the next one is missed opportunities for collaboration. Like, an over-reliance on figure it out could hinder collaboration if you take a very, very, very literal definition of figure it out. Like, it's figure it out. It's not figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
So.
You should be able to do it on your own, but you
Mhm.
should also be able to work with others
Yeah.
while still figuring out your
Yeah.
own
Yeah.
business.
Like, let's say you're on a team, right? And there's a complex problem, and you're like, I got this. And then, yeah, you figure it out, but it takes like 3 times as long, and it's missing some important things because you didn't get any input from the team, right?
Or you figure it out and then take it to your team and ask for feedback. And then at that point, it becomes a collaboration.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably the best way.
Yeah.
So, best of both worlds. All right, so, and then the last drawback, there's probably more, but the last one we're going to discuss is burnout, right? Trying to figure everything out by yourself can lead you to burning out. You get tired.
Mm-hmm.
You get mentally and emotionally exhausted, right? So, that's not good.
I feel like burnout can come from a lot of things, not just like figuring it out on your own.
Right,
Like there's
right,
so
right.
many things that can cause burnout.
Yeah.
But I just feel like that's not necessarily like it shouldn't necessarily be a drawback of figuring it out because there's so much more benefits to figuring it out
Mhm.
than like burnout because
Yeah.
there's ways to fix burnout.
Of course. Of
So
course.
don't let that be the reason it stops you
Yeah.
from figuring it out.
Yeah, like don't hit the first roadblock and be like, oh,
I'm done. I tried.
that's it for me. I'm going to go beg change and outside of bonds. That kind of thing, right? Now, here's the thing. These drawbacks that we discussed all take or don't take something into account. One part of figuring things out for yourself is getting help. And if you take a very, very, very strict literal definition of figure it out and you go by figure it out alone, you're missing the entire principle, right? Ask for help. See if someone's been in the same situation as you. If they have, they can probably give some valuable insights, and then you can use that with what you've already done, what you've already figured out, and catapult it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. When someone says figure it out, it means use your resources to figure it out.
Use your resources.
And-
That's the best way to put it.
And in some cases, those resources are other people. So that might know more than you on the subject, or might be able to point you in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they have a guy.
Yeah.
So it's always good to have a guy. So you can go to them, ask questions, or you can point other people to them so they can ask their questions. So it's always good. So it's a little weird. So now, when that happens, right, if you can't figure something out because you're stuck, right, you've read everything there is to know on the subject, but you're still not getting it, reach out to someone.
Yeah.
Someone who's done it. You don't want to, like, it's like taking weight loss advice from someone who's obese, right? Or asking for relationship advice from someone who's been divorced 3 times.
You can ask them what not to do.
That's an important lesson. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh, so I shouldn't eat an entire tray of cinnamon rolls. Or I shouldn't cheat on my spouse. Okay, cool. Cool. Thank you. Lesson learned. Thank you.
So what's the balance?
There is a balance to this. There is, because everything has a balance.
Everything has a balance.
So, one, you have to consider the complexity of the problem of what you're doing. Like, is it something that you can reasonably take on by yourself, right?
True.
Or do you have to reach out to someone that has specialized in this subject, right? If you're, again, use the example, building a business, learning how to do that from YouTube videos and podcasts and books is possible.
It is.
It's 100% possible. Is it the best use of your time? when you can ask someone who has a successful business, hey, how did you get started?
Mm-hmm.
And normally, here's the thing that not a lot of people know. People love talking about themselves, and they love talking about their success.
True.
And they will tell you. Even if they're going to be a competitor.
Yeah.
Because
they just have that competitiveness in them.
Yep. And they'll give you enough knowledge to get started. What you do with that knowledge is another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's not a lot of people that are going to steer you wrong when it comes to that. Sure, you might find the one or two unscrupulous business owners who are like, hey, I gave them all the wrong info.
Yeah.
But that's rare.
And then also at the end of the day, you're not really gonna, like, you can get a lot of advice from different people, but you're really not gonna know until you do it yourself.
Exactly.
Until you actually try to do this business idea that you have.
Yeah.
And go out on the field, see what works, see what doesn't work, and learn from your mistakes.
100%. 100%. Next one is learn and adapt. And we already discussed this one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, trial and error. If you make a mistake, it's a lesson. Don't make that mistake again.
And don't give up from the first mistake.
Yep. Have some resiliency. If you don't have resiliency, you're not going to be able to figure it out anyway. But because you're going to give up way too soon. So, what's the old saying? Every gambling addict was one bet away from making it big. That's a bad example.
I was like, I don't know if that's the best analogy.
It is what it is. And then, seek guidance when necessary. This is part of figuring it out. So, don't get hung up on just the words alone. Seek help when you need it. Don't be afraid to seek help. Swallow your ego.
Mm-hmm.
The ego is just going to get in the way here. And yes, it is your ego that got you where you are, right? Into even contemplating what you're doing. But you have to swallow it in order to move past it and make it happen. There's this weird dichotomy that happens with ego. Ego 100% gets you where you are and gets you on the road to where you are. Sometimes you have to put it in the passenger seat and let somebody else drive. Just a couple miles.
Just a couple.
So, plus, we live in a world where there are other people, and some of those people are going to know more than you. Some of those people are going to know less than you. What are you going to do? Go for the people that know more.
And learn as much as you can from them.
And then pass it on.
Pass it on.
When someone comes to you for advice because you figured it out, right? Give them the same nuggets of wisdom. What worked for you back then? What's working for you now? Because business and other things in business like marketing and customer experience and product design, service, everything like that is constantly evolving, right? Customer expectations are always going up. And what worked 5 years ago might not work now. So
everything's evolving.
Exactly. So it's a constant flux of figuring it out. And a lot of it is as you go. Because you always have to change and adapt your strategies because that's the way the world is. We're not... The landscape is not the same as it was in 2019. Right? We're living in a completely different world. And if you're not keeping up with the times, you're going to be left behind. And everyone else will be ahead of you because they're actively figuring things out. So, that's that.
So keep reading, keep learning, keep asking people questions, keep trying to figure it out.
That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do, guys.
And if you stumble, get back up, keep going.
Try again.
Yep. Maybe take another route of attack. But you got it. So, you want to talk about the fee?
All right, guys. It's that time to go ahead and leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. And tell us what you guys want to hear on the next episode. let us know.
Yeah.
If you guys have a topic that you want us to talk about.
Yeah, I'll go even further on that, and I'll put a little Google form down in the show notes on the YouTube thingy.
The description box?
Yes. The doobly-doo. And on that, there'll be a space if you have any topics you want us to discuss, or if you have any questions for us.
Yeah.
All right.
You may be featured on the next episode.
Yeah. So, there we go.
Bye.